Hello, folks. We truly do feel alive knowing that you are here. This is Politics Around the World on Enterprise Television, and I am Henry. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll start our stories with what is happening in the landlocked country Rwanda, where we have it that the country's 9.4 million registered voters out of the 14 million citizens have finally returned one of the continent's leading light in leadership back to his job post as president. Yes, that is the president right there in what has become all but a predictable pattern. Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, has been in power since 2000. Yet again, he has taken home 99% of the votes. His contender, Frank Habineza, that's Frank Habineza of the Democratic Green Party, and independent candidate Philippe Mpayimana were left to share the remaining. You wait for it. Yes, the remaining 1% of the vote out of 100% that was taken by Paul Kagame. That's two men dividing just 1% of the votes. Folks, you may call it the miracle of Rwanda, but a truly democratic process in which one candidate, an incumbent, garners 99% of the vote raises questions, of course, as to whether and shed the narrative of a country in which progress is built around what he does or does not do. All right, from Africa, ladies and gentlemen, let's make our next stop to Iran, where, of course, it's no longer news that the embattled country with a plethora of economic embargoes now has a new president, Masoud Pezeshkian. This is Masoud Pezeshkian, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. And however, what seems not to be on the major headlines is the personality of the new president and whether Iran is about to experience modern reforms after years of hardline rule from past presidents. Mahmoud, yes, this is Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. He was there before Hassan Rouhani, that's Hassan Rouhani right about there, and the late former president Ibrahim Raisi that died as a result of the helicopter mishap. In what many are looking to find out, of course. But just before we get to understand whom Masoud Pezeshkian is, I think it is very important also that we get to learn a little about this particular man right there in my screen. Of course, that is him, the last Persian Shah. His name is Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, known in the Western world as the Shah, the last monarch of Iran. This man here was born in 1919. Muhammad ruled the imperial state of Iran from 1941. During his leadership, Iran witnessed a great leap economically, industrially, and militarily, making his country the world's fifth strongest and fourth and dominant power in the Middle East. There were truly a global global power and almost stood at par with major Western powers. Now, all of this was possible because this man, the Shah, was a reformist and a nationalist who was more concerned about the growth and development of a country rather than religious observance. But he was deposed by Muslim cleric Ruhollah Kagame and his team of clerics in the 1979 Islamic Revolution. And a year later, that's Kagame, in one of those that ended the beautiful reign of the Shah in 1979 in Islamic Revolution. And a year later, the Shah died in exile in Egypt particularly. The reason, folks, I brought this history of the Shah is to possibly explain how it might be possible that Iran is about to observe a shift from what has spelled doom for them since 1979 with the supreme leader, that's that man there. The current president, Masoud Pezeshkian, is a heart surgeon. Yes, this man is a heart surgeon, and he's already working at making friends with the West to reduce the economic ban on the country, improve the quality of life of the people, and abolish or reduce the strict headscarf hijab law, which in 2017 led to the mother of this young lady there. It led to the mother of this beautiful young lady, Aida Shakarami, by the Islamic police, and started a massive protest in the country that nearly ended the reign of the supreme leader Kagame. But to avoid a repeat of the 1979 revolution, it's possible that the supreme leader, his choice of a reformist, Pezeshkian, who got over 60 million votes over other hardliner Muslim clerics, could just be his best bet. But we wish President Mahmoud Pezeshkian a very wonderful role, and we truly do believe that the best will be for him. From Iran, ladies and gentlemen, now to the United States of America, where we have it that Donald Trump, the good old Donald Trump, was seen with a bandaged ear at the Republican Party convention. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Yes, he was seen with a bandaged ear at the Republican Party convention and has chosen a previous outspoken strong critic of his Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate for the November general election. And if Donald Trump wins, this man right here, J.D. Vance, who is 39 years, by the way, will be the second youngest vice president in America's history after John C. Breckinridge, who took office in 1857 at the age of 36. But just before we call it a wrap, ladies and gentlemen, I love this picture. J.D. Vance, 39 years old. I just hope that he does the best. He used to be a former strong critic of Donald Trump, but right now he is the vice president and nominee of the Republican Party. But just before we call it a wrap, ladies and gentlemen, with the political stories in America, I don't think it would be fair enough to talk or not to talk about the biggest story that made rounds the past few days, and that about the failed assassination attempt on the life of former President Donald Trump. I want to believe you are already inundated with everything about the story from various platforms, but here on Enterprise Television, we would love to look at the story from another vantage point. This will be about how the assassination attempt wasn't avoided prior to the incident, despite how sophisticated security intelligence mattered in the US, especially when a VVIP personality is concerned. But of course, we can't break this story enough without looking at the profile of the chief culprit in the house. That is the young man, the young lad right there. He is 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, who was killed after the failed assassination on Trump by snipers from the Secret Service. Folks, this is the semi-automatic rifle Thomas Matthew Crook used. This particular rifle is a Colt AR-15 SPI 223 type Remington with centerfire intermediate cartridge, developed in 1957 by Remington Arms and the Fairchild Industries for the U.S. Army as part of a project to create a small caliber high velocity firearm for enthusiasts. And witnesses say that just a couple of minutes just before the incident happened, a police officer was called to Crooks, who was already positioned on the rooftop. However, the police officer who climbed the rooftop to confront Thomas Matthew Crooks, this late young man right there, Thomas Matthew Crook actually pointed a rifle to the police officer. But the catch question we would love to ask is, why would a U.S. police officer who has sworn an oath to protect the lives of citizens suddenly abscond his duties just because an illegal armed suspect, that's Matthew Crook, pointed a gun at him? That's the question we'd love to ask. And more so, what took him, the police officer that is, all the time in the world from not asking for a backup? I'm just asking, could race be a factor? Was the police officer more comfortable if we must avoid another Thomas Matthew Crook incident in the race for the White House in 2024. Well, this is just about the size of our package today, and I would love you to please do visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com for more information, and also like, follow and subscribe to all our YouTube to all our social media platforms, that is at Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry Igwebike. I'll see you soon for yet another great time on politics around the world. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye from us.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.